Hey everyone, welcome back to the stream. This is episode 7, and I'm happy to have you here. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. These streams are all about giving you the latest tech updates with a strong focus on Apple news and products. Today, we'll be covering the release of iOS 18.3 release candidate for developers and beta testers, along with when we can expect the official release to the public. I also noticed some mistrust. Many of you have mistrust with it, like in regards to Apple Intelligence. So I'll be doing a quick breakdown on how it works, addressing some privacy concerns, and showing you how to manage or disable its features if needed. It's going to be a great episode, so let's dive right in. First up, Apple released iOS 18.3 release candidate on January 21st. While this update doesn't introduce groundbreaking features, it still brings some useful enhancements, bug fixes, and new tools that make the overall experience maybe a little bit smoother. So let's break it down. So we have for iPhone 16 models, you can now scan a flyer or a poster with the visual intelligence. So if you have an iPhone 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max, the visual intelligence feature, when you press and hold to bring up visual intelligence, can now read a flyer or a poster with event details, and they will automatically be added to your calendar. So no manual inputting dates or times or location. It's all kind of done for you. So another thing visual intelligence can do is now identify plants and animals. So for those nature lovers, this one's for you. The camera app now identifies plants and animals in real time using visual intelligence. Just point your camera kind of at the animal or the plant, and it'll give you quick information. It's like having a little encyclopedia at your fingertips. Now you can do this within the camera app, the Photos app, that is. You can go into the photo and then click on the little information button, and it kind of gives you a readout of what the plant or the animal is. However, this is just a little bit quicker, being that you have this button and you have visual intelligence on it. So that's just kind of one of those features that is exclusive to the newer models, but there are other workarounds within iOS that can have that feature for other users as well. So another thing, you can now manage notification summaries directly from your lock screen. It's a small but convenient update. Um, Also, the summary notifications now feature italicized text, so they can kind of stand out. Before you only got let's see, I think it's like a little icon. Let's see where it's at. So before you just kind of got, I can't even see where it's at, like that little icon that identifies that it's a summary. Now you actually have text that's italicized so it can further stand out. Now, however, now that the summaries are a thing, the summary notifications that are for news and entertainment are temporarily disabled. So Apple promises that this feature will return soon, but as we touched in last week, the the news summaries were spreading a little bit of misinformation. So Apple decided to pull them back in iOS 18.3. So this iOS 18.3 also brings pressing the equal signs now repeats the last calculation, a handy touch for repetitive math task. Now, this is a feature that was available in previous iOSs, but hadn't been available since the release of iOS 18. So for those of you that like to equals, let's say you were adding 2 plus 2 and then you want to equal again, it will now, like iOS 18.3 will now bring that back. So Apple fixes an issue where the keyboard would disappear whenever you were making a typed Siri request. So you can now if you tap at the bottom, you bring up this little guy right here. And I can't get it to work right now. Great. Oh, there it is. So at some points, whenever you would tap that, or whenever you would try start typing, your keyboard would actually disappear. So now iOS 18.3 promises to fix that issue. Also, the bug where music kept playing even after the camera, not the camera, the bug where music kept playing even after the music app was closed is apparently now also resolved. I did experience both of these issues. I experienced where I was typing in a request and the keyboard just randomly disappear. I didn't think much of it because I usually just use my voice in order to type in a request or to put in a request. But the music thing was actually like a pretty big deal. Like I would close the music app and the music just kept playing, and I'm like, wait a minute, what the heck? So I would have to go in to the music app, pause the music, and then close the music app. So apparently now that is resolved. So hopefully that's the case. And let me know if any of you guys kind of experience any issues with that. So iOS 18.3 RC, the release candidate, is currently available for developers and public beta testers. And based on Apple's usual timeline, the release should arrive within the next week, just as long as all testing goes according to plan and then there's no major bugs. If you're actually testing the beta, just kind of let me know your thoughts in the chat. See if you had any issues or anything that you can think of that was a big deal during the beta testing. Um, Other than the issues that are apparently resolved with iOS 18.3, with the keyboard disappearing or the music where it kept playing, other than that, I think I didn't really have any major issues. Now, let's shift gears into Apple Intelligence. With AI becoming a bigger part of our lives, it's completely normal to have questions or fears about how it works, especially regarding privacy. So let's kind of break it down. So, first up, Apple Intelligence prioritizes privacy by performing most AI tasks directly on your device. This is called on device processing, which keeps personal data safe from external servers. Now, for more complex tasks, Apple does use what they call private cloud computing to kind of lend some extra processing power while keeping strict privacy controls in place. So even in cases like this, your data still remains secure. Now, we will kind of have to take Apple at their word for this, but if it makes you feel any better, this private cloud computing, Apple is offering $1 million to any hacker that can hack the private cloud computing. So that's a pretty generous amount. Generally, we're talking maybe 250,000 to half a million, where hackers are compensated if they can kind of show a flaw in their system. But Apple is offering $1 million to anybody that can hack their private cloud compute. Now, like I mentioned, most of this stuff happens on device. That's why the cutoff for Apple Intelligence was so harsh. It could seem that way. So currently, only the iPhone 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and the entire iPhone 16 lineup can run Apple Intelligence. So no other device can run Apple Intelligence, and no other iPhone can run Apple Intelligence, even though some AI technically is still happening on older devices. They just didn't call it Apple Intelligence. So it requires a certain amount of RAM and a certain processing power from your processor. So it is a pretty harsh cutoff where it even excluded the iPhone 15 and 15 Plus. Now, as far as the iPad lineup, there is a little bit more support for that because any iPad with an M1 chip or above, or an what is it, A 18 Pro chip, I think it is, or 17 Pro chip, can actually run. That includes the iPad Mini, can actually run Apple Intelligence. So in any case, if you're not comfortable with certain AI features, you can actually disable Apple Intelligence entirely or customize it to kind of to your liking. So if you if you just completely want to get rid of Apple Intelligence, you would navigate into your settings. So you navigate, let me see if I can do this. I don't even know if I can show you guys on here. Let's try it this way. Hmm. All right. So you kind of navigate into your settings. You would scroll down to Apple Intelligence. And then here, you have the ability to turn Apple Intelligence off altogether. You kind of just toggle it, it'll tell you to confirm, and then bam, Apple Intelligence is completely off. Now, I won't turn mine off because I like Apple Intelligence and I'm going to continue using it. And I'm going to continue testing it to see how well it works and kind of give you guys feedback. But in any case, you can disable it completely. If you were holding off on buying a new iPhone because you were worried about Apple Intelligence, well, just know that you can disable it altogether. So, as far as like writing tools and other like AI power stuff, you can go into, let's see, where is this thing at? I need a different angle to kind of show you guys on the live um, these things because this is an epic fail. But in any case, you would go into privacy and security. No, I lied. Let's see. Where is this thing at? Now I failed, you guys. I completely failed. It's screen time. That's where it's at. So you would go into screen time, content and privacy restrictions, and then you would see a label that says intelligence and Siri. And here you can turn off, once again, I can't focus, but in any case, you could either turn off image creation, writing tools, the chat GPT extension, and math results for whatever that is. In any case, so there's ways to one, completely disable Apple Intelligence altogether from your device, or kind of play with it and see if you can allow and not allow certain things. So even if you don't like Apple Intelligence, you can still get the next iPhone without having to worry about using it. Hey Jaden, what's up, man? So if you guys have any questions about Apple Intelligence, please kind of feel free to ask me in the chat, or even just after the live. If you have any questions, just post them in there. I hope this kind of clears up some concern about Apple Intelligence and kind of like let me know whether you are excited to use these features or prefer to turn them off. I kind of love hearing people's different perspectives. So some people are completely against it. They don't like it, they don't trust it, and that's okay. Like if the company has to earn your trust in these kind of aspects, that is not a bad thing. So if you don't trust Apple with Apple Intelligence, that's okay. Let them prove them, let them prove themselves that you can trust them. Um, it's not bad to fear, but also kind of like educate yourself and how to use it and or how to disable it or how to only use certain parts of Apple Intelligence. So that kind of wraps it up for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining today's stream. If you find it helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know any topics that you would like to cover next time. Thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you in the next stream.